Students, in this video, we will discuss GSTR 2A and 2B. So, section 38 and rule 60. Communication of details of inward supplies and ITC. There are two things if you observe here. One is inward supplies, one is ITC. Communication of details of inward supplies and ITC. Okay, details of inward supplies are given in GSTR 2A. Eligible ITC is given in GSTR 2. Details of inward supplies are given in GSTR 2A. Eligible ITC is given in GSTR 2B. Okay, so GSTR 2A consists of what purchases we made. GSTR 2B consists of on purchases we made, how much ITC we can avail. So GSTR 2B is relating to ITC, input tax credit. GSTR 2A is related only to our purchases. Therefore, all the purchases in GSTR 2A, you may not claim input tax credit. Only on those purchases reflected in GSTR 2B, we can claim input tax credit. Okay, right. So details of inward supplies and ITC. Section 38 and rule 60. The details of outward supplies furnished by the registered persons under section 37 subsection 1 and of other such supplies. The details of outward supplies furnished by the registered persons. Who are the registered persons? Suppliers. Okay, furnished by the suppliers. Details are furnished by the suppliers. Furnished by the suppliers, made available electronically to the recipient. So whatever the details uploaded by the suppliers or sellers will be available to the buyers or the recipients. So who is uploading the data? Who is furnishing the data? Supplier. To whom that data is available online? To the recipient or buyer. The details of outward supplies and an auto-generated statement and an auto-generated statement. These details of outward supplies is called GSTR 2A and this auto-generated statement is called GSTR 2B. Okay, so as the name itself indicates, GSTR 2A, the details of outward supplies to the suppliers. Whatever the goods supplied by them, that contains in GSTR 2A. Whereas GSTR 2B contains our eligible input tax credit. Details of ITC. Auto-generated statement contains the details of ITC. Auto-generated statement contains the details of ITC. Therefore, for claiming the input tax credit, GSTR 2B is important. GSTR 2A is not important. GSTR 2A has no relevance while filing the returns. It is the GSTR 2B which has a relevance while filing the returns. This is very, very important. Okay. So GSTR 2A is of no use for us. We cannot claim input tax credit based on GSTR 2A. We can claim input tax credit only based on GSTR 2B. Okay, right. This is the thing. Okay, so details of outward supplies are furnished by the suppliers and the same are available to the recipients electronically. Auto-generated statement, that is details of ITC. Therefore, GSTR 2A contains details of outward supplies furnished by the suppliers. GSTR 2B contains details of ITC available to the recipient. Details of ITC made available to the recipient. Okay, so GSTR 2A details of outward supplies, GSTR 2B details of ITC. It is uploaded on real-time basis as and when suppliers upload or change details. As and when suppliers upload or change details, it is available to the recipients. Okay, it is generated only once. GSTR 2B is generated only once. It will not be updated again and again. Okay, I'll show you how this is updated. Look at this. So this is the timing when the GSTR 1 or GSTR 5 or GSTR 6 is uploaded by the supplier. Period during which the details are furnished by the supplier. Period during which the details are furnished by the supplier. After the due date of furnishing the GSTR 1 of previous month till the due date of furnishing the GSTR 1 of current month. after the due date of furnishing the GSTR1 of the previous month till the due date of furnishing the GSTR1 of the current month. That is, due date is 11th, after the due date, after the due date. So this is the previous month. Okay, this is a previous month. Right. So October month due date. October month due date is 11th November. 11th November is the due date for furnishing GSTR1 of October month. 11th November is the due date for furnishing GSTR1 of October month. Therefore, after the due date, that means 12th we will take of the previous month. So previous month is October. Previous month is October. Current month, what is the current month? Current month is November. Current month is November. Due date. November month GSTR1 due date is 12th December. November month GSTR due date is 12th December. Therefore, sorry, 11th December. November month due date is 11th December. Okay, this is 11th December. After the due date of GSTR1 of previous month till the due date of GSTR1 of the current month. So this is the period during which the details are furnished in GSTR1. GSTR 5 and 6, for 13th is the due date. GSTR 5 and 6, 13th is the due date. Okay, right. Therefore, 13th due date means 14th will be after the due date. Okay, current month due date is 13th, GSTR 5 and 6. So the details are available to the recipient on 14th December early morning. On 14th December early morning, the GSTR 2B will be available to the recipient. On 14th December early morning, GSTR 2B will be available to the recipient. Look at this. This is only 1 minute gap. 13th December night 11:59. After immediately you will get 14th December. Your calendar in the computer or in the mobile will change to 14th December. So 13th December 1959 your calendar. Thereafter it will change to 14th December. Correct. So this is the time period during which the details are furnished by the supplier, and this is the date when such details are available to the recipient. A sold goods to be in the month of November. A sold goods to be in November. Okay. 10,000. And 1800 GST. Assume 1800 GST. A sold goods to be in November. Okay. C sold goods to be in November. Okay. 20,000. 3,600 is the GST. Okay. This is the taxable value. This is the taxable value, and this is the GST amount. Okay. A sold goods to be. Similarly, D sold goods to be in November. Okay. Say 40,000. GST will be 7,200. Okay. Assume. A filed GST return. A filed GSTR1 of November. GSTR1 of November on 10th December 2024. Okay. C filed GSTR1 of November. C filed GSTR1 of November on 12th December. On 12th December 2024. D filed GSTR1 of November on 18th December 2024. 18th December 2024. Okay. Now all these three details will be reflected in the GSTR 2A of A for the month of November. Okay. All the three invoice details. Okay. GSTR 2A of November month. GSTR 2B of November month. GSTR 2B of November month. Okay. 10th December. Okay. So it contains only details of A, details of goods, details furnished by A. Okay. If you open the GSTR 2A of November month on 10th December 24, on 10th December 24, if you open the GSTR 2A of GSTR 2A of what? Of B for November month. GSTR 2A of B for November month. If you open the GSTR 2A, if you open the GSTR 2A of B for November month on 10th December, you will get the details furnished by A only. If you open on 12th December, contains the details furnished by A and B. If you open and see the GSTR 2A on 12th December, you will see the details of both A and B. If you open and see on 18th December, if you open and see on 18th December, you will see the details of A, B, and C. You will see the details of A, B, and C. Okay, this is what is called as updated on real-time basis. Okay, updated on real-time basis. As discussed here, GSTR 2A. 2A will be updated on real-time basis as and when suppliers upload or changes details. Right. Next. GSTR 2B of B for November month. GSTR 2B of B for November month. If I open and see the GSTR 2B of November month on 10th December, okay, not yet updated. GSTR 2B not yet generated. Not yet generated. Why, sir? Why it is not yet generated, sir? As we discussed here, GSTR 2B will be generated only on 14th. GSTR 2B will be generated only on 14th. Therefore, if you open on 10th December, if you open GSTR 2A, you will see the details of A. On 10th December, you cannot open the GSTR 2B. GSTR 2B is not yet generated. On 12th December, same, not yet generated. On 12th December, same, not yet generated. Right. But GSTR 2B of on 18th December, if you generate the GSTR 2B, yes, you will be generated. Contains the details furnished by A or B. This is the magic here. Okay. If you open the GSTR 2B on 18th December, after 14th at any time, if you open your GSTR 2B will be generated. But it contains the details furnished by A only. Why, sir? I am opening the GSTR 2B on 18th December. Why on that date only GSTR 2A, only details furnished by A are disclosed? The reason is A alone has furnished the GSTR return before the due date. And these people has furnished the GSTR return belatedly. Okay. GSTR 1 furnished late after due date. GSTR 1 furnished after due date. As we discussed, GSTR 1 due date is 11th of the next month. Okay, so they have furnished after the due date. 11th December is the due date for furnishing GSTR 1 of November month. 11th December is the due date for furnishing GSTR 1 of November month. C and D. Okay, C and D furnished the details after due date, after GSTR 1 due date. Therefore, those details will not be uploaded. Those details will not be reflected in GSTR 2B of B. Only details furnished by, look at this. Only if you furnish from 12th November to 11th December, in between 12th November to 11th December, if you furnish the details, only that will be reflected in GSTR 2B. Only that will be reflected in GSTR 2B. Therefore, here C and D uploaded after 11th December, those details will not be reflected in GSTR 2B of it. Next, so another thing. This is the thing. Next, E sold goods to B in November. E sold goods to B in November, 15,000. This is 2,700 is the GST. 2,700 is the GST. E filed GSTR 5. E filed GSTR 5 of November. E filed GSTR 5 of November on 12th December 2024. On 12th December 2024. F sold goods to B in November. Okay, say some 30,000. 4,500. 4,500 is the GST. F filed GSTR 5 of November on F filed GSTR 5 of November on 15th December 2024. On 15th December 2024. If I open the GSTR to be of B for the month of November on 18th December, it contains the details furnished by A and E. It contains the details furnished by A and E. If you observe, both C and E furnished GSTRs on 12th December only, but this is reflected in GSTR. This is reflected in GSTR to be, but that is not reflected. Why? Because for him due date is 11th December. For him due date is 11th December. Thereafter it will not be reflected. For him GSTR 5 due date is 13th December. GSTR 5 due date is 13th December. Therefore, he furnished before his concerned due date. Accordingly, that is reflected in GSTR 2B of A, GSTR 2B of B for the month of November. Okay, that is very important. That's what the second point. Okay, GSTR 5 or 6 furnishing from 14th November to 13th December. GSTR 5 or 6 furnishing from 14th November to 13th December. So 12th December he furnished. Okay, before 13th December, he furnished the details. That's why those are contained in the GSTR 2B. So therefore, if you file here GSTR 2B of C, A, C, and if E also filed, E details will be reflected. GSTR 2A will get updated, no problem. But GSTR 2B will be freezed only once per a month. Okay, on 18th December, if you open, it will contain the details of A, C, D, E, F. All the details will be contained. GSTR 2A of B for November month reflects all the details, whereas GSTR 2B reflects only those two details based on their respective due dates. If the supplier files GSTR within his due date, if the supplier files GSTR within his due date, GSTR 1 due date is 11th, GSTR 13th due date is GSTR 5 due date is 13th. To their respective due date, they have to file within their respective due date. Then only it will be reflected in GSTR 2B of B. Okay, did you observe the difference between C and E? Both filed the GSTRs on 12th December only. Both filed the GSTRs on 12th December only. Whereas for E, 12th December is before the due date. Whereas for C, 12th December is after the due date. Therefore, details furnished by C are not reflected in GSTR to B, but details furnished by E are reflected in GSTR to B. That is what this period during which the details were furnished by the supplier and the date on which the details are made available to the recipient. Okay, this is good. It is generated only once. GSTR 2B of November month. GSTR 2B of November month. It is reflected only once. But how about these two, sir? How about the details of C, D, and F? How about the details of C, D, and F? Those will be reflected in the GSTR 2B of December month of May. Okay. Details furnished by C, D, and F are reflected in GSTR 2B of B for December month. Okay, so if you open the GSTR 2B of B for December month, that will be reflected. For the November month related GSTR 2B, that will not be reflected. Okay, GSTR 2B of B for November month. This is GSTR 2B of B for December month. These three details will be reflected in GSTR 2B. Therefore, you can get the ITC. You can get the ITC. These 1800 and 2700 ITC available for ITC claimed ITC available for November month. ITC available for November month is at 1800 plus 2700 is the ITC available for November month. ITC available for December month. ITC available for December month 3600 plus 7200 plus 4500. This is the ITC available for the December month. Even though all the 5 goods we purchased in the month of November itself, even though all the 5 goods we purchased in the month of November itself, our ITC will change. Okay. ITC is available for the month of November. We can avail the ITC only with respect to the supplies of A and E. With respect to the supplies of C, D and F, you can avail ITC for the month of December. It is generated only once. It is updated on real-time basis. Next. So who furnished the details and what details they have furnished and in what form details are furnished, to whom the details are made available to the recipient. Sorry. To whom the details are made available. Look at this. NRTP, non-resident taxable person. Non-resident taxable person. They are furnishing the details. What details they are furnishing? Same. Details of outward supplies. In which form they are furnishing? GSTR 5. To whom those details are available? To the recipient. Those details are available to the recipient. ISD, input service distributor. Input service distributor. So what details they are having? Details of credit attributable. Input service distributor is not the supplier. Input service distributor is not the supplier. He did not sold goods. Somebody sold goods. Okay, input service distributor is only distributing the credit. Input service distributor is only distributing the credit. Therefore, details of credit attributable. It will be available to the recipient of service. Since he received the goods or services, credit is attributable. Okay, since he received the service as credit or attributable. Input service distributor. Input service distributor. Therefore, he is not the supplier of services. He is not the supplier of services. He is the recipient of service, no doubt. But he is not the supplier of services. Supplier of service is somebody else. Supplier of service is somebody else. Okay, right. Input service distributor, their details of credit attributable. In what form they are furnishing the details? In GSTR 6. They are furnishing the details in GSTR 6. So those are made available to the recipient. Okay, recipient of service. Next, deductor under section 51. What details they are submitting? They are not submitting the details of supplies. Details of tax deducted. Deductor is not the supplier. In fact, deductor is the recipient of services or goods. Deductor is the recipient. Deductor is the recipient, not supplier. Deductor himself is the recipient, not the supplier. Therefore, he was not supplying the details of outward supply. He was supplying the details of tax deducted. He was supplying the details of tax deducted. In what form they are supplying? If they are supplying in GSTR 7. To whom those are available? To the deductee. Who is the deductee? Supplier. Supplier is the deductee. Look at this. Normally, if the supplier furnishes, details are available to the recipient. So here, recipient is furnishing the details. Those are available to the supplier. That is the reason I have given in a tabular format. Otherwise, you cannot understand this. The board material has given in a descriptive format. In that descriptive format, you cannot understand. What you are seeing now is this content. What you are seeing now is in this content. If you read in this paragraph manner, we cannot understand who is filing which form, what details are contained in this form, to whom that details are available. That is not clear here. Okay, so for the better clarity, I have given a table. So deductor A deductor, in fact, is the recipient. He was furnishing details of tax deducted in form number GSTR 7. To whom those are available to the deductee? Those are available to the deductee. Next, collector. Okay, tax collector, that is electronics commerce operator. Electronics commerce operator who is collecting the tax under section 52. So what details he was furnishing? Details of tax collected. In which form? GSTR 8. To whom those details are available? To the concerned person. To whom those details are available? To the concerned person. Okay, that will be discussed in the electronics commerce operator. We have a separate chapter. There we will discuss what is this concerned person. Okay, right. Next, QRMP supplier. Quarterly return, monthly payment. Supplier, first month of the quarter. So QRMP supplier, all the months he will furnish details of outward supply only. But the first 2 months he will furnish in IFF. Invoice furnishing facility. Last month he will furnish in GSTR1. Last month he will furnish in GSTR1. All these details will be available to the recipient. All these details will be available to the recipient. Other suppliers details of outward supply only, either GSTR1 or GSTR1A. They may be in GSTR1 or they may be in GSTR1A. They are available to the recipient. Now look at this. Recipient is furnishing the data and those data is available to the recipient. So who furnishes the details? Recipient. To whom the details are made available? To the recipient only. What details? Goods imported, goods brought from such unit or goods brought from such developer. So these are the goods imported. So when the goods are imported, the supplier in foreign country will not file GSTR1 because GST Act is not applicable to them. The supplier in foreign country or the seller in foreign country will not file GSTR1 because in that country GST is not applicable. Therefore, recipient in India has to file. That is bill of entry. He has to file bill of entry under Customs Act. He has to file bill of entry under Customs Act. Then that will be available to the recipient. Look at this drama. Normally, supplier furnishes the details that will be available to the recipient. Sometimes the recipient will furnish the details that will be available to the supplier. Sometimes the recipient is furnishing the details and the same is available to the recipient. Therefore, I have given this table. For the better clarity, I have given this table. Who is furnishing the data? What details they are furnishing? Which form they are furnishing? And to whom those details are made available. Okay, right. Now, in which form? Details are furnished? Okay. To whom the details are made available? Okay. In which form details are made available? So based on the recipient. So who is the recipient? In what form details are available to the recipient? If the recipient is composition taxpayer, details are available to the recipient in GSTR 4A. If the recipient is input service distributor, the details are available to GSTR 6A. See, I'll give you one more thing here. Before this input service distributor, supplier. Any supplier of service, they will supply the details. What details they are furnished? Details of outward supply. In what form? Same. In any form, depends on the function form. It may be 5 GSTR, details of outward supplies may be contained in GSTR 5, or they may be contained in IFF, or they may be contained in GSTR 1, or they may be contained in the GSTR 1A, any form. That will be available to the input service distributor. And then again, when input service distributor is distributing the credit, he has to file GSTR 6 form. Okay. How I do this kind of. A chartered accountant, auditor, a CA to the company, head office to the company. Okay, branch 1, branch 2. He has done the audit services. CA has done audit service. CA has done audit service to branch 1 and CA has done audit service to branch 2. So therefore, these people are called what? These people are called recipient of services. These people are called recipient of services. Those are called recipient of services. These people are called recipient of services. Okay, whereas CS, even though CA is providing services to these two people, but he will give invoice. He will give he will give invoice to head office only. He will give invoice to head office only. This CA, this CA will file GSTR 1 or 1A. This CA will file GSTR 1 or GSTR 1A. CA will file. And those, whatever the details furnished by CA in GSTR 1 or GSTR 1A, those will be available to this input service distributor in GSTR, this form. This form. This one, GSTR 6A, GSTR 6A. So who is furnishing which form? CA is furnishing GSTR 1 or GSTR 1A. So for the head office, that will be reflected in GSTR 6A. Okay, for the head office, that will be reflected in GSTR 6A. Okay, for the head office, that will be reflected in GSTR 6A. Okay, right. Now the head office will file. Now the head office will file. Head office will file GSTR 6. Okay, CA will file GSTR 1 and GSTR 1A. That will be reflected to the head office in the form GSTR 6A. That will be reflected to the head office in the form GSTR 6A. Head office is filing GSTR 6. Head office is filing GSTR 6. And that will be available to branch 2. And that will be available to branch 1. And that will be available to branch 2 and branch 1 in GSTR 2A. This is how you have to understand. So CA is providing services to branch 1 and branch 2. He was issuing invoices to the head office. Okay, so CA is filing GSTR 1 and GSTR 1A. Those details are available to the head office in GSTR 6A. Okay, details furnished by CA in GSTR 1 and GSTR 1A are available to the head office in GSTR 6A. Okay, details furnished by head office in GSTR 6 are available to the branches in GSTR 2A format. Okay, so details furnished by CA in GSTR 1 or 1A will be available to head office in GSTR 6A. Okay, will be available to head office in GSTR 6A. Details furnished by head office in GSTR 6. Details furnished by head office in GSTR 6 will be available to branches. In GSTR 2A. That is what. Okay. So therefore, input service distributor. He was some outside supplier is furnishing. Those are available to the input service distributor in the form GSTR 6A. Now input service distributor is filing. Those are available to the branches in GSTR 2A. That's why input service distributor is reflecting in these two forms. To whom the details are made available. So an input service distributor. Okay, so to whom the details are available, composition taxpayer, he is the recipient. So for him, the details are available in the form GSTR 4A. Other recipients, for them, the details are available in GSTR 2A. Okay, whereas input service distributor, for him, the details are available in the GSTR 6A. So these are recipients of goods or services. Okay, recipients of goods or services. Recipient of goods or services. ISD is not recipient of service. It says the recipient of invoice. But only they are recipient of invoice. They are not recipient of services. Composition taxpayer and other recipient, they are recipients of goods or services. Whereas input service distributor, he is not the recipient of service. He is the recipient of invoice related to the service. He is the recipient of invoice related to the service. He was not, head office is not receiving the service. Head office is only receiving the invoice related to the service. Okay, right. This is the point. To whom the details are available, in what form those details are available. Okay, right. Next. Okay, so I hope you understand all these formats, which format, who is furnishing what details, and how those are available to the recipient, when the details are furnished, and when that will be available to the in GSTR to be. Okay. Now these two are pending, Rule 88C and Rule 88D. Okay, Rule 88C and Rule 88D. Have a look at these two. Rule 88C is relating to tax payable as per GSTR 3B is less than the tax payable as per GSTR 1. I can write exceeding also like this. GSTR 1 tax as per GSTR 1. Okay. So tax payable as per, first you have filed GSTR 1. First we have filed GSTR 1. We disclose some 10,000 tax. After that, when we are filing GSTR 3B, the tax is less. Whatever the tax you are computing is less. Therefore, tax payable as per GSTR to be, you can write in this way, or if you want strictly as per the board material, tax payable as per GSTR 1 furnished by the registered person for the month is more than the tax payable as per GSTR 3B. Okay, so tax as per GSTR 1 is more than the tax as per GSTR 3B. Tax you have filed in GSTR 1, first you have filed GSTR 1, so thereafter you have filed GSTR 3B, but the tax you disclosed in GSTR 1 is more than the tax you disclosed in GSTR 3B. For this reason, you will get the notice under Rule 88C, whereas Rule 88D, Rule 88D, ITC availed by a registered person as per GSTR 3B for a month is more than the ITC eligible in GSTR 2B for the same month. Therefore, this thing, 20 Rule 88B, Rule 88B, Rule 88D, when it will be reflected, ITC as per GSTR 3B is more than ITC as per GSTR 2B. Okay, so Rule 88C is used when the tax as per GSTR 1 is more than the tax as per GSTR 3B. ITC Rule 88D is used when the tax as per GSTR 3B is more than the tax as per GSTR 2B. When the tax as per GSTR 3B is more than the tax as per GSTR 2B. This is the reason for issuing intimation. That is the reason for issuing intimation. So intimation shall be given to such registered person electronically on the common portal and also to the email address. So the intimation you can download from the GST website and the intimation will be sent to your email ID also. Okay, so in that intimation, they will highlight the difference. What is the difference between GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B, and what is the difference between GSTR 3B and GSTR 2B? So, what is this difference? GSTR 1 minus GSTR 3B or GSTR 2B minus GSTR 3B. Sorry. GSTR 1 minus GSTR 3B. Similarly, GSTR 2B minus GSTR 3B. Okay, tax as per GSTR 3B is less. Okay, tax as per, sorry, this is GSTR 3B. This is 2B. Tax as per GSTR 3B. GSTR 3B tax is less. GSTR 3B, ITC is more. Okay, you are paying, you are disclosing less output tax and are claiming more input tax. We are disclosing less output tax and we are claiming more input tax. Then this kind of intimations will be given. Either you are disclosing less output tax or you are availing a more output tax. In both the cases, this intimation will be given. Okay, so intimation shall ask the person either to pay the difference or to explain the difference. Pay or explain. Pay or explain. Either pay the difference or explain the reason for the difference. Is there any mistake in GSTR 1 which you have rectified in GSTR 3B or GSTR 2B is wrong? Okay, but your calculations is correct. You have to explain that. You have to explain that within 7 days. Within 7 days. If neither the difference is paid nor the satisfactory explanation is given for the difference, if neither the difference is paid nor the satisfactory explanation is given, not paid, neither paid nor explained. Neither paid nor explained. Neither paid nor explained. So proper officer will take the action. If it is Rule 88C, the action will be taken as per section 79. If it is so Rule 88C, action will be taken as per section 79. Rule 88D, action will be taken as per section 73 or 74. Remaining points are same. Intimation given, asking them to pay, that is same. The action taken will be different. If we have defaulted in Rule 88C, action will be taken as per section 79. If you have defaulted in Rule 88D, action will be taken as per section 73 or 74. This is the common procedure for Rule 88C and 88D. Common procedure. Common for 88C and 88D. Same for 88C and 88D. That is same for 88C and 88D. Same for 88C and 88D. Only the reason why the intimation is given, that will be different, and thereafter what they have to do. Okay, if they fail to do, how the action will be taken against them. How the action will be taken against them. Okay, right. So that's all with the GSTR 2A and GSTR 2B. In the next lecture, we'll discuss the details of outward supplies, GSTR 3B, GSTR 5, 6, etc. So after completing the GSTR 3B, then we'll go to the QRMP scheme, because QRMP scheme will have impact on both GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B. Okay, we have completed outward supplies. Now we have completed inward supplies. In the next lecture, we'll discuss outward supplies. The returns, GSTR 3B, GSTR 5, GSTR 4. Okay, multiple types of returns are there that we'll discuss in the next video.